When you're facing the impossible, you can count on the God of the impossible. I love this quote from Warren Wiersbe. Our faith is not really tested until God asks us to bear what seems unbearable, to do what seems unreasonable, and to expect what seems impossible. Deal who you've got as your partner. Make your plans big and impossible. You see, brother Gibbs, those are the words of men. Listen to these verses. Jeremiah 22:17. O Lord God, behold, thou hast made the heaven and the earth, and by thy great power stretched out thine arm. There is nothing too hard for thee. Jeremiah 32:27. Behold, I am the Lord, the God of all flesh. Is there anything, he asks, that's too hard for me? Matthew 19:26. But Jesus beheld them and said unto them, with men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. Have you ever noticed we stopped talking about the impossible? And yet we serve the God of the impossible.
All of us, at some point in our life, have had our backs to the wall and we think, God, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know which way to turn. What shall I do? We've had our backs to the wall and everything looked rather impossible. It looks impossible for us to be able to get through this without a great deal of pain or hurt. It looks impossible for us to get through this without some real financial problems developing. It looks impossible for us to be healed after what the doctor said. So there are all kinds of situations we come into. The first thing I want you to notice here is this, and that is that Jesus is aware of those circumstances in which we feel it is a seemingly impossible situation. You notice I didn't say an impossible situation, but seemingly impossible. It appears to be impossible. It looks like it's impossible. For example, when you and I hit one of those difficult situations in life, or we our backs to the wall, or we think something looks impossible, what do we say? We say, oh Lord, what am I going to do? Wrong question. Now remember, this is really important because you're going to get one of these. Lord, what in the world am I going to do? How many of us have asked that? Oh God, what in the world am I going to do? That's not the right question. The right question is, Lord, what are you going to do? Nothing is impossible when the supernatural invasion of God by the Lord Jesus Christ comes into our life and he enters our circumstance to deal with them. If I alone have to deal with them, I'm going to have a problem. But if he begins to deal with them, if I allow him, if I acknowledge him, if I call upon him into my circumstance, he is going, because of his compassion and love, to deal with that circumstance no matter what it is. And oftentimes we wonder why things don't happen right. We wonder why we can't figure it out. God doesn't want us figuring it out. He wants us to rely upon him, to trust in him, and as he says, to call upon him. Not only is he aware of our circumstance, but listen, he always has a plan for our seemingly impossible circumstances. That is, Jesus is never caught off guard. That is, he always knows what he's going to do, and he knows how he's going to do it, and he knows how, where, when, and he knows exactly the resources that are necessary. No matter what you're facing in life, he knows exactly what to do. So I'm going to stop my calculation. I'm going to start trusting and see what you do. You'll be amazed at what God can turn around in your life.
So we want to seek God for the impossible. Believe God for miracles. Dream that God would do more in our lives than we ever imagined for his glory and our good. So let's lay the foundation for this by looking at two different stories about Jesus. And what's interesting is that Jesus was amazed at two different times for two different reasons. Story one, Jesus is in his own hometown, and people were being critical of him for saying who he was. They said, who does this man say he is? People wondered. They didn't like him. In Mark 6, verse 5 through 6, it says he could not do many mighty miracles there except lay his hands on a few sick people and heal them. He was amazed at their lack of faith as to who he said he was. Story number two. This is a Roman centurion. But this centurion had a sick servant. He goes to Jesus and asks Jesus to heal his servant. That centurion believed that Jesus could heal the servant with just a single word. Luke 7, verse 9. When Jesus heard this from the Roman centurion, he was amazed, and turning to the crowd following him, he said, I tell you, I have not found such great faith, even in Israel. 2 different times Jesus was amazed. Lack of faith, great faith. So question, and only you can answer this. If Jesus looked at your faith level, would he be amazed at how big, how audacious and bold your faith is? Or would he be amazed how small it is and how lacking it is? Think about this last year. What great faith steps did you take in any area this past year? Did you attempt something so bold, maybe a bit risky, that you could not have pulled off without God? How about your prayer life? What did you pray for? What if God answered every one of your prayers? What would be different in the world? Here's what's sad. For many, many Christians, nothing would be different because they didn't pray, didn't take any action, they weren't bold. And God says, I can do all things, and you don't even try. Would God be amazed at your great faith or amazed at your lack of faith? Nothing